This week, I'm finishing the loft of this fairyland cabin. There's a lot of work to do, but it's already looking so good.
Okay, the first job is that I am going to finish this floor completely. For the past few weeks, I've been working so hard to put all of these boards in, and it has been probably the hardest job that I've ever done in my whole life, but I finished. And normally at the stage where I finish a project, I go, well, I did a really good job, and I leave the final steps for maybe 6 months or maybe 6 years, and I never really complete them. But this time it's going to be different because this space really deserves it, I think. So I'm going to sand all of the boards, I'm going to oil them, I'm going to trim off all of the edges, and I'm just going to make sure that everything's really perfect because why wouldn't I? Look at this space.
Do you know how everyone always says that their worst skill is that they're perfectionists? Well, my worst skill is that I'm not a perfectionist and I skip corners sometimes, and that is not going to be the case this time. I'm going to make it perfect.
The first job is to get all of the leftover boards down.
Like, there's probably a better way of doing this, but this is quite fun.
It's funny that I always leave the last part of a project unfinished because really, this should be the satisfying, exciting bit, seeing all of my hard work pay off. So I'm trying to retrain my brain to find the satisfaction in completion. There's quite a few long, beautiful boards left over, and I'm already trying to think of what I could make from them. Maybe a table, maybe a bench, maybe a kitchen? My mind always wanders like this as I create, especially finding inspiration within the boredom of menial tasks like moving boards or sanding floors. I think that my most profound inward concepts or exciting ideas always come from times when my body is busy and my mind is left to explore. These moments of introspection feel rare these days when distractions seem to haunt every corner of our lives. These days, I find that I'm always multitasking. I want to listen to a podcast as I move boards, or listen to music as I clean, or scroll on a phone in the spare seconds of the day. This leaves no time for reflection or deeper thought. No time to consider or ground ourselves, or to find meaning in the ordinary. So in the menial tasks, I'm letting myself sit still. I'm letting my mind wander and meditating in the monotonous moments of the day. Every day when I move the goats or the sheep's paddock, I'm forced to get out in nature and connect with animals. If I'm sick, or if it's raining, or if the goats are in a bad mood, or if I'm in a bad mood. Every day I have to get out there and move paddocks. No matter what, I always end up smiling with joy each time. In the familiarity, I find so much meaning. I always say that a farmer is a philosopher, because who else is able to sit within the hours of the day with their thoughts traversing further than their bodies? Most jobs require our full attention and brain power at every moment. And a lot of farming does too. Sometimes a day is spent calculating planting seasons or fence structures, but a lot of the day is spent doing similar tasks that allow your mind to flow. Being unrestrained by corporate structures or strict rules or just the constant use of thought allows farmers to delve deep into introspection. And honestly, some of the most interesting conversations I've ever had are with my neighbours, who by society's standards are considered not very smart. They are dairy farmers or fruit growers, and they don't have impressive degrees or high-paying jobs, but what they do have is time. Time to really think, to consider, to question, to reflect, to meditate on the menial and find meaning in the ordinary.
The kiwi fruit is starting to get so big. This is the Bruno variety, which is a really long, skinny variety, but they won't ripen until it starts to get cold. On the cold nights, the sugar content gets transferred so that it becomes really sweet, and that's when they ripen. So we've still got a little bit. There's so many pears on at the moment. They're all up the tree, and the sheep love it, especially Aphrodite. She's a pear-loving sheep in particular, and she loves all fruit. Sometimes she just screams outside our window if we haven't fed her fruit for a while, and she'll just bear really loud until we bring her some sort of offering. These are Nashi pears, and the trees are really old. They were planted by our grandfather, I don't know, probably 50 years ago. And the trees are really tall now, and the pears just cover them in the summertime. It's beautiful. They're next to the kiwi orchard. I can see the sheep jumping up into the kiwi vine and eating all of the fruit right now. They can't wait until they're ripe. They get too excited.
As I harvest fruit or just hang out with the animals, my need to multitask or keep my hands busy fades away. I love to be outside with this simple purpose of collecting food and caring for the animals. I normally spend hours out here, just distracted by the lack of distraction. I think that it's so important that we prioritize boredom in our lives and respect it just as much as we respect being busy, or realize that it might be more important. The world is so controlled by this idea of productivity that we're constantly working our hardest, always busy and always doing something. But if we were actually to prioritize productivity, I think that we would quickly find out that actually sitting still every now and then and doing nothing would help us to actually feel inspired, and in turn, we would get so much more done. Our modern world doesn't give us time to reflect, and we end up exhausting our energy on meaningless things. So I'm trying to spend more time doing nothing. Watching the dragonflies or taking a walk, picking some pears or patting the sheep. And with balance, you find so much inspiration and energy.
It's time to jigsaw. I'm gonna make the edge really straight and really neat, which is what I should have done originally, but now I'm gonna fix it anyway. This jigsaw is my favorite thing. It's the only new power tool that I've ever bought, and everything else I'm relying off my dad's old tools from like the 90s or probably earlier, I don't know, but they are not good. But this one, best investment ever. Okay, this is my only way up and down, so please don't. So I've moved the ladder, which I realized was a bad idea because it's the only way up and down, and now I've moved it so it's going to be really hard to put it back into a safe spot so that I can get down from here. And I'm like a few meters above the ground. So that wasn't a good idea, but it's done now. So I'm going to jigsaw off this and make it so that it's really straight. That's the plan anyway.
Cutting these boards feels pretty frustrating because it's something that I should have just put in straight and then I wouldn't have had this problem. And it's even more frustrating when it goes really wonky as I cut it and ends up even messier again.
Look, it's not that straight, but it'll do. Now is the question of whether I will ever get down again. I need to get this ladder back and I need to put it safely from above, which is going to be difficult. If I accidentally drop it, I don't know, I'll just have to spend my life up here and yeah, I'm okay. Look at that. Yay, the ground. I didn't know how much I missed it. It's time for sanding, and I've got the classic tool that I found deep in the shed amongst many things, and I hope that it works. I've got like a small grit sandpaper on it, and I think it's probably not going to be strong enough to get out all the things that I want. Like there's a lot of stains and a lot of splinters and a lot of things that I really want to sand out well, so I might have to get a better, bigger grip on the sandpaper, but I don't know where it is. So I'm going to try this, see if it works, and hope for the best. So I replaced the sandpaper. I couldn't find a better grit because we didn't have any. So I just replaced it with some other stuff that's pretty similar, but at least it's new. So I'm hoping that'll work. If not, I might have to do a trip to town, which I don't feel like. Alright, the moment of truth.
I think it's this meditative ponder state that we're all a bit guilty of avoiding. Distraction is easy because it means that we don't have to think deeper and confront the harder thoughts. Sometimes to avoid thinking about something, I'll make myself busy and distracted. But when I finally end up burning out and I have to spend some time just thinking, I end up finding so much clarity. In solitude and boredom, I end up finding the answers that I was searching for. Like how making mistakes as I build lets me learn, thinking deeply lets me grow. It's such a great privilege to just think, and how amazing is it that we have this ability to move inwards and consider. I remember reading about consciousness and that this is what some people differentiate as a conscious being, this ability to plan ahead or to remember. It's a bit ironic that this ability that makes us capable of deep thought is something that we collectively avoid. We fill our time with distractions and consume in things that are made to make us forget. We forget that to be human is to be deeply and profoundly capable of our own thoughts. I try to always remember to create more than I consume, in all senses. To consume is to take, whether that is material possessions that we buy, or time that we spend, or energy that we use. But to create is to give, and that might be in an artistic way where we give an artwork to the world, but it also might be a thought that we give to ourselves. It might be a conversation or an introspection that leads to change. It might just be a moment sat in silence where we recharge and rest. I think even just in terms of work, this balance is important. Time spent sitting still, balanced with time spent working hard.
Today I bought new sandpaper, so I think that that's gonna make things a lot easier because this was how worn out the sandpaper I was using was. And also, I've got a thicker grit now, so that's gonna be able to get the scuffs out better, I hope. So I talked to my mum and she taught me a few things. She taught me about safety and that I've been doing it all wrong. So I'm gonna be a bit more careful now. Apparently you're supposed to always keep it like flat like that, hair up, face mask, which I forgot, but I will get. And yeah, I'm gonna do that now.
As I've been trying to learn to build, I've probably made more mistakes than good decisions. But the thing is this is how you learn. So I'm trying not to judge myself as I make thousands of mistakes.
Whew. I'm about halfway. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've been going at it for hours, but it's only been like 40 minutes or something.
At this point, I've spent so many weeks up in these rafters making this floor, and every now and then I just get so excited that I made this floor with my hands. It hasn't been easy, but it's so beautiful, and I'm just so proud to be fixing up this special spot in the forest and respecting the beauty of this structure that our dad built so many years ago.
I'm trying to work out if I'm finished the sanding, which felt like it was going to be the biggest job in the world, but it actually wasn't so bad. So I'm just sweeping it all off and seeing if there's any bits that need a bit more sanding. Ooh, I already see somewhere. Uh-oh. Okay, I borrowed my uncle's orbital sander, so that's going to be really helpful to get these corners all done, and then after that I think I'm done sanding, which I'm so excited about because honestly, I'm sick of it. It's so hard. This is hard work. So I spent a lot of time on forums researching what tools you're supposed to use because I have no idea. And I was on this forum and all of these people kept saying, I'm using this random orbital sander. And I was like, where are they finding these random orbital sanders? Like, why are they random? Where are they finding them? It turns out that's what the tool's called. It's called a random orbital sander. So now I'm just more confused. Why is it so random? I don't know.
With a bit longer spent sanding all of the bits that the belt sander couldn't reach, I'm almost finished. As much as I complain, I actually really enjoy sanding. There's something so satisfying about cleaning up these hardwood boards and making them so beautiful.
Now it's time to sweep it all out and hopefully it's ready to oil.
We got them from a friend and she got them from seconds from the mill, so they've had many lives, so it's really special to fix them up and make them beautiful.
This is tung oil and it's what I'm using to oil floors. It's completely natural oil, so that's great. It's not harmful to anyone or anything. So I'm just gonna give it a shake up and then I'm gonna get into it. I'm so excited to see how it turns out. Ooh. I spilled some.
After a coat of plant oil and beeswax and then a coat of tung oil, the floor is looking so good. The loft is feeling so magical and I'm feeling proud of finishing this job perfectly, honouring the Rainforest Cabin.